planet-sweeping EMP will come from the middle of the Earth, as well as already having previously encountered the EMP from the magnetic bulge from the sun. Plus, after that, is likely to be a CME, or coronal mass ejection, that would quite literally fry things like, electrical lines and this sort of thing. And we're looking at perhaps 40 or 50 years before you can rebuild the electrical system. The damage would be so extensive, assuming the continents stay the way they are.
This is why I told my wife not to let my 9-year-old listen to the show tonight.
Yes, indeed. It's kind of a problem. I have relatives that are young. I'm a sovereign individual. I accept that I'm going to cause pain and hurt by my discussions, but I can't bring myself to shield people from what I think is an accurate analysis, even though it would cause pain and hurt at that level, because it gives them an opportunity to fully accept their fate and look at reality as it exists and come to terms with it and get moving. I'm not one of those who favors stick your head in the sand until the flamethrower turns you into a roast ostrich.
Well, nor are we, or we wouldn't have invited you on the show. Let's go to Florida and welcome Joe to the show. Hi, Joe. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going?
Great. You got a question for Cliff?
Yeah, actually more of a statement just to let him know that I've been following his Webbot for about 2.5 years now. I know it's not 100% accurate, but it's far, in my own recording, it's far better than 50%. And I want to give you 2 shocking headlines very recently in regards to the Israel attack on Iran. Kind of almost blew me away. The first one, I'll just give you the title, and this is from the Asia Times Online. Ill winds over Iran's nuclear draft.
No.
Thought that was interesting. The better one, which I send you an email on that anyways, but is actually today. And I'm gonna read you this email I sent my friend. This blew me away. I mentioned that I, listen to you guys for 2 years. It says the ill winds would be the radioactive dust cloud circling the Earth from the attack on Iran, which is considered the Israeli mistake. A couple of days ago, I found that article I just mentioned to you guys, and then today, it says this should blow everybody away. The Webbot also gives a story of what happens. Sorry, blah blah blah. I'm just trying to go through this real quick. I'll just read you the one sentence, and they're talking again about how Israel has to hurry up. They've only got a 6-month window, according to this, and the Prime Minister has got 6 months to act, possibly sooner. And this is in regards to the Bashir reactor. And it says its main reactor at Bashir will have come online, and bombing it will send a radioactive dust cloud over Gulf nations. That was from, I think,
that says it all right there. We're going to have to hold it right there. Joe, thanks for the call. Cliff, I'm going to let you comment when we come back from the break, but I know you've talked about that on the Webbot as well. Stay tuned, everybody. More with Dave and Annie, joined by our special guest, Cliff, after a word from our important sponsors. 1-800-313-9443 is the number to call. And as we went to the break, we had a caller ask Cliff the question about discharge from the upcoming war with Iran and would negatively impact the rest of the planet. Cliff, do you want to pick that up from there?
Yeah, as part of the Israeli mistake language in our lexicon, we had, maybe a year ago, maybe even a little longer, we'd start picking up this language that went to the idea of ill winds. And basically the description that we got from our details was that the Israelis would attack the Bashir reactor. And we're saying Bashir. We don't really get geographic indicators that way. But we're just assuming that's the most likely. And in essence, a mistake happens. They either use a deep bunker buster when they shouldn't, whatever, and there's some kind of a radioactive discharge that may be on the order of like Chernobyl. And instead of blowing up into the sky, it actually goes down into the ground and thus ends up hitting some kind of water or oil or natural gas or something, and gets all that radioactive, and then all that blows up like a volcano. Because we had all kinds of language indicating a volcano, in essence, spewing radioactive material out, such that the jet stream was contaminated and would continue to be contaminated for 9 times around the planet, or about 18 to, say, 30 weeks, depending on how it splits out. Death toll would be horrific, and the damage would just be incalculable.
So everything is being thrown at us, including the kitchen sink.
Sure,
Let's go to
like
line 2, and we've got a caller named Barry who says he's calling from an undisclosed location. Hi, Barry. You're not calling from Area 51, are you? Hello, Barry. Are you with us?
Certificate, that's all.
Okay.
So I don't know where I am. Anyway, hey, the question is, we had a time frame October 25th through November 4th dates, and then after that, some people are saying, hey, nothing happened. And the Cliff went into hiding, and they heard nothing from him. Now, I would, I have my own comment on what I know happened. What do you say to that, Cliff?
Well, indeed, the language turned on the 25th as we'd forecast. We had the reshift on the 4th as forecast. And I didn't go into hiding. I had just tons of work to do relative to getting this next report out that we brought out in December. It's not unusual for me to just disappear for a month because I have to put in 80-hour weeks to get this thing done. It was just a coincidence.
Yeah. So what event happened though that it wasn't in line with the
It wasn't
supposition.
An event per se, sir. It was a combination of things. Like on the 25th and the 26th in the period forecast, we had emotional changes come as Obama declared the national emergency relative to the swine flu, and then it just went on and on and on. I mean, I can go back and look at the records, and we had captured like 150 different things that occurred over that weekend that were significant. On November 4th, we had huge amounts of stuff occur relative to the appearance of economic factors such as the now widespread article about the tungsten-filled gold, about the sale of U.S. treasuries, and on and on and on and on. And
so that's related to the drop in the dollar.
Correct.
And but what I saw happen was CDC came out and said, "Hey, no big deal with the swine flu," and then you've got Obama saying, "Hey, national emergency." Right. That was about October 23rd, I thought. I don't have the date exact. Which is very close to your time frame. And then you had Ukraine, this huge outbreak that nobody knows about here in the U.S.
Oh, we know about it. We've reported it.
I know you know about it, but, you talk to the average guy, they never hear a thing about it. Right.
Okay, Cliff, I think you answered the question. I think your predictions on those dates have been fairly fulfilled. Barry, I want to thank you for the call. Let's go to Mark on line 3 from Texas. Hi, Mark. What's on your mind?
Hello, Cliff.
Yeah, hey, guy.
How you doing?
I'm all dry at the moment. It's dry as can be up here with this cold weather.
I bet. Well, just a couple of things real quickly. My wife would like to know the best place to live. I note that you're in the Northwest, and your buddy George is in East Texas, so that's kind of far apart. So my first question is maybe where's the best place to live if you're going to live in the United States, or should one go to Canada? And secondly, the missile test on the moon recently, supposedly that was looking for water. It was going to, impact the moon. There's going to be a big spew of debris. The satellite was going to go through and analyze the stuff and see if there was water. Could that have been a bunker-busting missile test? And I'll take the answers off the phone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's go to that first question that he asked about where the best place to live is, and we got just about 30 seconds before the break.
If you wanted to say best equals potential survival for a pole shift, the odds would tend to favor areas about 7,000 to 10,000 feet in elevation. Beyond that, it's anybody's guess. Mountains rise and fall. I don't get into that. That's a personal karma issue. We're probably all screwed. We're all going to die sooner or later anyway, and it just may be a whole lot sooner than we'd anticipated.
Cliff, you're not giving us much hope here. I mean, what I've read with regard to the pole shift before is that your best chance for survival is near the equator because you'll see less of an impact of the shift.
That's not true because the equatorial bulge, the 13 miles of water that exists at the equator has to shift around the planet before the rest of the continent shifts. So if you're near the equator in those islands, you're going to have tons of disruption as water shifts, continents rise and fall rapidly in that area. The equator is the worst place to be. The equator is just going to be toast. Look at what happens, or why did they put the seed vault where they did, 60 north and deep up near the Arctic Circle? It would have been cheaper to put in the equator. It took them a lot of effort to get that cement and stuff in that cold environment and get it all set up. They know something.
I think survival is a matter of happenstance. Anyway, we're going to come back after the break, and we're going to explore with Cliff something on the McKinnon issue, and we'll bring a wrap to this and talk about perhaps what is our best chance for survivability. Stay tuned, everybody. More with Dave and Andy and our guest Cliff after a word from these sponsors. Thanks for staying with us through the break, everybody. Hi, this is Dave Hodges. I'm joined by my co-host tonight, Andy DeRiso. Andy sent me an email off air and asked me to spare a few moments for the woo-woo. So, Andy, I promise you we'll get to that. And our special guest tonight is Cliff, and we're talking about all things pessimistic. And this is rather bleak, but I do think it's information we need to know. And we've got the calls backed up, and we've also got to save the last 15 minutes for a special topic. So let's get right to the calls without further ado. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for calling the show. What's on your mind?
Hi. I think, am I on?
Charlie, you're on. Okay,
Oh,
I should say Charlie from Arizona on line 1. There you go.